The main guy. Alright, come on in, mate. The show started.
Why is it taking so long?
How did you do that one, laddie?
You always have to be ready, you have to be vigilant. Remember the 4 Ds.
Absolutely. Yes.
No, what the hell? Constant vigilance.
One of the D's is dyslexic. Absolutely.
Yeah, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sharks' Polaroid. And boy, it has been a while since the last time we did the late night show. We had Sid over here that was living in Plymouth in a small 4x4. And now you're back in the freezer. How's that?
We're really enjoying ourselves and just what can you wish? It's a one bed. But now, obviously, we've got the sofa, we got the dining side.
That's why I was in there for a while.
Yeah.
That's why I could just literally. That's why I decided to come out of there. Now. And now we've got obviously Yasin now, who's our new cameraman.
Well, you don't have to say that.
The first cameraman. I don't know if it died. I don't know if it was plagued.
Alright.
But anyways, enough about that person. We don't even speak about that. Old cameraman that made production levels absolutely down. Basically, I wanted to quickly talk about my lack of consistency for a while.
Is something picked up, by the way? Are we doing fake crying now?
What do you mean?
Oh, is that a new trend? Fake crying?
No, I was genuinely crying for my cameraman.
Oh, you were crying for your cameraman?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see any tears. You see any tears, cameraman? Okay, cool.
I have told everyone.
No, I didn't. I didn't see any tears.
I even told my sister that I cry differently. Everyone knows that I don't know, there's something prescribed. I can't cry from the eyes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was told this.
So where do you cry, you weirdo?
I've been away for a few months now because I keep getting into the same old rot that I've said about 100,000 times. Which is that every time I do upload something, it gets to a point where I put myself in this weird notion of I have to consistently do something so much better than the last video. So much better than that.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Here we go again. Let's see those bad boys, see those tears.
Wait, Gran.
It's the excuses for me.
It's the toxic masculinity for me.
Anyways, like I said, I just want to move on from that.
Move on from all of that rubbish, all of that acting. Hey, how cringe with all this fake crying, man. How cringe is that? Look at him. Look.
No, I've told you many times. I cried different. I've told you this.
Oh.
Did you just wee yourself?
I told you.
You're an absolute loser. You know that.
Hey man, it's a medical.
I told you that's how it. Are you guys proud? Or were you just making me do
It's a medical.
Yeah, no, now you understand.
Yeah, I was.
Let's just talk about stuff that's been going on. First thing I wanted to talk about was, the whole Meghan Markle thing and, her absolutely doing a 6ix9ine to the whole royal family.
Oh.
But the main thing about that I want to talk about was Piers Morgan.
Oh, our king and savior.
What an absolute time.
Oh, right.
What Piers Morgan had when that whole ruckus was going on. Obviously, he got rejected by Meghan Markle. In fact, after she left him, when they had their little talk thing, their little dinner thing, as he said, he put her on a cab, and then she went to this party where she met Prince Harry, and then it was the best
sister,
We had 2 hours in the pub. She had a couple of dirty martinis, had a couple of pints. We got on brilliantly. And then I put her in a cab, and it turned out to be a cab that took her to a party where she met Prince Harry. And then the next night they had a solo dinner together, and that was the last I ever heard from Meghan Markle. And I have never heard from her again.
And obviously she moved on, she became a princess, had a Princess Diary kind of life also before. And he was out here upset.
Meghan Markle ghosted me.
Did she?
But then what I found crazy was before that interview, all these news outlets and stuff like that was silent about all these weird allegations that they brought up, just literally started coming up with any and sort of every excuse to try and get those two to stop. Said nothing about it for 2 years. But suddenly, before she was about to snitch on everyone, it's like, oh, well, she's a bully, she's this, that. And then they even went for Harry as well. They were like, oh, think about this, Harry. Do you want to do this? Right now, whilst your granddad is in hospital, like, this could be the thing that kills him. I was just wondering, have you seen the guy?
Yeah, he's been dead for a long time, to be fair.
Honestly, the guy...
He died back in March. It's a conspiracy theory, but...
In our next segment of this week's conspiracy, I wanted to bring on my conspiracy theorist, panelist, and subjugator. Would you like your name revealed? Anonymous on the show to basically explain her conspiracy with us. Thank you very much.
Whoa!
So, firstly, before we start with this, can I ask why you wanted it in darkness?
So my face and my identity isn't revealed. As you know what the royal family did to Diana, if they were to see a mere person like me, I would be...
Fair enough.
So on today's conspiracy, I'll be talking about Prince Philip. Prince Philip is actually dead. I know. Guys, I need a bit of reaction as well. The world is not ready for this news, which is why I'm here to bring it to you guys. Prince Philip actually died back in March. He died at the start of the pandemic. The royal family, my insiders have said, that did not want to release this news because with everything that everyone's going through, they're just not ready. It was said that they would be releasing this news around the time of Meghan's interview because they wanted the craziness around Meghan and Harry's interview to not have its publicity. So they wanted to remove that publicity with the king's death.
Not the king.
When the king's death is revealed, please look back at this and remember that I, Anonymous, said it first.
Thank you for being so brave.
Woo!
Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was going to happen.
I'm sick and tired of you coming out of these things. Just be normal. The
No,
door
I'm
is free.
sorry, I just had to get comfortable for a little bit. Hopefully you guys found that segment interesting. I know I did.
What do you think about that conspiracy?
I don't believe it.
Okay.
Let's just mellow it down for a little bit. Because now it's time to get serious
100%.
for my segment of Real Talk. Okay, so today I want to talk about Sarah Everard. Now, a lot of you guys know what happened to Sarah Everard, and those of you guys that don't, she lived in Brixton. She was walking home from Clapham when she was kidnapped and then taken to a forest in Kent and brutally murdered by a psychopath. To be fair, I don't know his name. I couldn't care less about his name, if I'm honest with you. But he was like a police officer who's actually been working as a police officer for a very long time. And he was off duty and he committed this heinous act. Now, obviously on Twitter there was so many, not just Twitter but on social media, there was like these polarizing arguments of like a lot of people saying, oh, basically making more preventative measures for women to take as they're, walking home. Should they be going home at this certain time? Should they be alone? Should they have, should they be listening to something? So many things. And then on the flip side, it was just like a lot of talks of, okay, yeah, but what about the men that are actually committing these things? What about holding them accountable? Instead of always just victim blaming, what about like just what men can do in general to stop all of this stuff from happening? Obviously as well, I wanted to have my co-host Sid. So obviously the argument that I'm just trying to basically push is basically, obviously a lot of people talk about things women can do to keep themselves safeguarded.
Yeah.
What is it that guys can do to make sure that other men don't feel the need to actually go out and do these acts? Because obviously people like, let's say if a house got broken into, they'll be like, oh yeah, but why didn't you have security measures? Why didn't you have this?
Right.
But what's a lot more powerful than that is if the robber just says to himself one day, you know what,
I'm
not
just
gonna
doing
rob.
this. Yeah. Like, I don't know. To be fair,
Like what kind of tips or like stuff for like guys would you kind of say?
I mean, As a career criminal, I would have to give you some real good advice here. But I wouldn't really, like, I don't know, you'd have to educate men in general, right? Because, like, how do you tell a person that's like intended on doing something evil to not do that? Like, how do you don't even know who's intending it. Like, you don't know who's sitting in the room that day with you. Perhaps you are or on the bus with you, and they're thinking to themselves, "Today I'm gonna go and sexually harass a woman." Do you know what I'm saying? So really and truly, like, there's very little that you can do, like, on a feasible front. But if you had, like, I don't know, education systems in school to perhaps help children, because obviously it starts when you're young, right? You don't just, like, hit, like, 30 and then go, right, that's it, bro. Like, I'm done with this.
But why do you have to even teach men? It's sad that you have to teach men to not
Obviously, it should
touch
be.
girls.
Obviously, it should be something. Obviously, it should be something.
Teach someone to not rob a house.
Yeah,
Or
like,
you should teach someone to not.
It's gonna come down to the.
Even though women, the case is a lot severe.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like.
But these are fully grown men. They've been
100%.
through the stages of being taught things. They've been through these stages.
Exactly.
Like, they weren't born like this. Do you get it? So it's like, why do you have to? Like, you're a grown man. Why are you being told don't touch a woman if she doesn't want you to touch her? Like, how can you be being told this as a grown individual?
It's
you know
a
what
human
makes it
thing,
worse? You know what makes it worse?
Like, morally, how do you feel okay
Exactly.
with that?
Yeah, but you know what makes it even worse than that? Worse than that is you don't know who is capable of
Yeah.
doing it. That's
That's
not
the
like
thing.
guys don't come and say, oh, you know, I'm feeling to harass a woman. You know?
There's no way to
No one
identify it.
says that.
I was actually on the train one time, and this woman opposite me was getting, like, harassed by some, like, not like harassed, but like there was this drunk guy next to her, and she looked like proper uncomfortable. So I just asked her to swap seats.
Yeah.
That was it.
See?
And we just swapped seats.
It's
That
little
was it.
things like that. Like,
And that was it. And that was it. Like,
you don't have to do it. You don't have to
she was
say
great.
anything.
You don't have to do anything. You
Just,
just asked her, "Do you want to swap seats?"
Yeah.
And she just like, obviously not loud so everybody could hear, but I just like, looked at her like, "Do you want to swap seats?" Like, you know. And she just swapped seats with me. That was it.
But this case was scary because she did all those things. She called her boyfriend while she was walking home, and she told him, like, you know, I'm on my way home, blah blah. She was wearing leggings. She was wearing running shoes. Like, she was doing everything what girls have been told to do.
All the precautions.
But this still happened to her. So it's like anyone can be her, and that's the fear for women, because it's like, even with these preventions, that can still be you.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest part, because it's like, now these simple things, like, you know, going to the shop or coming back from school or doing this and that is no longer safe. Even walking from your street, like, there was a girl, she's walking, like, she was so close to her home and it happened to her. So it's like, you're not safe anywhere. Like, do you know what I mean? Are women just supposed to just not go outside to you know, stay safe? But it's not about staying safe anymore. It's not about protecting women anymore. It's about letting these men know that they can't do this. Like, they're not, like, I don't know.
And really, you know what happened to the?
I'm going off, see?
So basically, like I said before, I wanted to just kind of end the segment off with a wonderful quote that I read on Twitter. It was by a girl, and she said, "I just wish it was like the old times when men could go to war and die." And that's what we have to go through now.
I've
Let's
been
go,
waiting for
boys.
this.
Whoa! Let's go, boys. Off to war. Let's go, cowboy. Whoa, boys. Cowboy, boys. Let's go, boys.
Scotland.
Whoa! Come on! Come on!
Come on, lads. Come on.